These are the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. The gifts of the Spirit, are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. The gifts of the Spirit, are you ready to release? Love, are you ready? Joy, are you ready? Peace, are you ready? Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, are you ready to receive? The gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, are you ready to release? Love, are you ready? Say, yes, I'm ready. Joy, are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Peace, are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Ready to receive. I want to sing another song. You are the heart. You are the hands. You all are all the joy right here on earth. For all you are, for all you do, you're a blessing to this world. You are the heart, yes. You are the one, the Spirit on earth. For who you are, for all you do, you're a blessing to the world. You're a blessing to the world. You're a blessing. You bring us all blessings to the world. You're a blessing to this world.
Please join me in prayer. There's one perfect life. That life is God. That life belongs to each and every one in this space. Everyone here in the city of Aurora, state of Colorado. Everybody on planet Earth. Everyone in the universe, wherever they may be. That one perfect life that is God is perfect, whole, and complete in form and substance. It becomes what it loves, each and every one of us, in unique expression. All that God is, each of us are, by divine design. And we give thanks to come together as we kick off this glorious Advent season, remembering that we can view this through a new thought lens, and that we are all blessed, and that all life and everything that takes place is sacred in every way. I know that everything that takes place in this space today will be absolutely perfect and give thanks for everyone who's come together to make this service possible. For everyone that is here to lend their love and their light to this celebration. I give thanks for each and every one of them. Thanks for all their ears, and release these words into divine law where it is already done in the universal mind. I let this go, I let it be. Together we affirm, and so it is. And our words of inspiration all come from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, as we look at Advent through that New Thought lens, and he had so many things to say about it. And as we go through this series, we'll have more brilliance from Dr. Holmes. His first quote is that we're never limited, not in what is possible and not by what has gone before. We are free to choose anew. His second quote states that this possibility is the thing that urges everyone forward and makes humanity undefeatable. Humanity rises triumphant over the ashes of every dead hope and aspires anew to the highest heaven. Our third quote, spiritual mind healing rests entirely on the theory that we're surrounded by a universal mind. This mind reacts to our thoughts and always according to law.
Good afternoon, New Dawn. Oh my goodness, so much going on. It's a good thing, right? Rick and I just got back from vacation. We had a really nice time of rejuvenation and sleep and eating and being with friends and eating and being in the ocean and eating. And it was really extraordinary. We had 9 friends join us our first week and 5 friends join us our second week. The mayor of the beach got to do his thing. I got to jump into a little R&R. So as they used to say about one of our former presidents, I feel tan, rested, and ready. So the good news is, or the interesting news, depending on your perspective, I will be with you now for the next 8 Sundays. So that's what our schedule is. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you for clicking on that applause line for me. My ego appreciates it. And for those who follow such things, Mercury went direct yesterday. So, yeah, right? So the planets are back in alignment and things are moving forward. All things around communication should start to clear up just a little bit. We were an hour and a half late on our first flight yesterday getting home. And we're looking at our connections, and Rick is getting different messages on his phone, and I'm getting messages on my phone. And you know what? He's really smart. I'm not smart enough to figure all of that out. I'm just like, if I'm supposed to be there, I will be there. If not, I will call beloved Russell, and he will do what he does. And anyway, so God has a plan, and we were all a part of it, and we're grateful for that. So yes, oh my goodness. And Marty, great job. Thank you once again. We're so grateful for your gifts in sharing in this community in so many ways, including our beautiful flowers every week, rain or shine, or dusting of snow. We're grateful for your presence and for your beautiful energy. And yes, we mixed it up a little bit today, and thank you, Carol, for all of the work that you did in pulling together this whole series of Advent with us and for us. We're going to be speaking about the next 4 Sundays. We're going to be looking at Advent through a New Thought lens. If anybody identifies as unchurched, which I did for quite some time, I wasn't familiar with Advent. It is the Christian perspective of bringing light to the season and stepping into Christmas, preparing our hearts, preparing our consciousness, preparing our energy for Christmas. And as we do that now from a new thought perspective, we are, of course, honoring all people and all faith traditions, and we are still in the throes of bringing light to the darkness. One of the things we looked at for our trip home yesterday is sunrise and sunset, and we flew into Charlotte, North Carolina, and it said the sun was setting at 4:36 p.m., and the days are only going to get shorter for the next few weeks. So it is up to us, my friends, both physically and metaphorically, to continue to bring light to the dark. So that is what you see before you then. You see the main candle, and then each week we will be speaking to a different God quality. We'll be speaking to a different passion, a different energy that we bring to the planet, and perhaps offering some suggestions about what you might want to do and how that might play out for you. So, with this being the first Sunday of Advent on our New Thought journey, today we are focusing on the first candle, which is the candle of hope. So, as we enter this sacred season of Advent, we honor the light of hope. In many faiths, this time of year is marked by candles, symbols of the human spirit's unshakable belief that light always returns. In Judaism, the menorah rekindles hope through remembrance. In Hindu homes, the diyas, or the small clay pods of Diwali, celebrate the triumph of light over darkness, of good over evil, and of knowledge over ignorance. For us in New Thought, hope is that first flicker of awareness that something greater is possible. So as we light this candle of hope, we affirm the light of infinite possibility within every heart. May this flame remind us that even in uncertainty, the presence of God is steadfast and sure. The first exploration that I would invite you into then is hope as a spiritual vision. Hope is the lens through which we glimpse God's possibilities before they manifest. It doesn't deny the shadow. It declares that there is light beyond it. And I love 3 quotes from Ernest Holmes. You are speaking to my heart. Thank you. And I'm waiting for the day when Russell and I have the same quote from Ernest Holmes, which means that you all needed to hear it twice. And the good news is that our founder, Dr. Holmes, was a prolific writer. So it may happen and it may not happen. And to add to what Russell already shared from Dr. Holmes, we must look away from appearances and behold the invisible. And isn't that an invitation into faith itself? Yes. Yeah? So when we worry, we're thinking about things that haven't been manifest yet, things that are invisible. When we share our affirmations, our positive words, our thoughts, our prayers, our songs, we are sharing things that are invisible. We get to choose, right? Do you want the positive or do you want the worry? Hope lifts our gaze from what seems to be toward what Spirit is becoming through us. When we hold hope, we hold the consciousness of the divine artist painting something new upon the canvas of our lives. Hope is the spiritual lens that allows us to perceive divine order, even in apparent chaos. I would remind you once again that in Mandarin Chinese, chaos and opportunity are the same symbol. It whispers to us when the way forward seems hidden, reminding us that the same creative power that spun the galaxies, the same power that hung the moon and the stars and the sun, is at work in our lives. Hope lifts our eyes beyond limitation, teaching us that every ending contains the seed of beginning. When we cultivate hope, we exercise our spiritual imagination. You've heard me refer to Disney in some of my previous talks. I love that at Disney they refer to the whole department of creative types as Imagineers. What if we are Imagineers of our own lives and of our own experience? We exercise our spiritual imagination. It is faith's rehearsal, right? For any actors or performers in the room, I'm looking at you, Ms. Lansing. That faith is, it is faith's rehearsal. The act of seeing what Spirit is already becoming through us. Hope directs the mental equivalent toward wholeness, inviting us to trust that unseen good, gathering momentum just beneath the surface of our experience. So we shared with you, I shared with you before Rick and I stepped away for a couple of weeks, that we had to say goodbye to our beloved Karen Terrier, to Terry. And part of our vacation experience was still grieving, right? This little furry, four-legged family member. I know many of you are pet lovers, and this was my first experience as an adult. And so, in our own way, Rick and I were moving through that process individually and together. Thank goodness for the enormity of the Caribbean Ocean, where we could soak and we could release and we could process. And thank goodness for good friends being with us. And and we both asked for a message from our little guy, right? Spiritually, we know all is well. Physically, it still hurts. So we were asking for a message from our little Terry that he's okay, /4B, that I'm going to be okay. And we kept looking for things, and that might be it, and that might be it, and that might be it. We won $200 in two different casinos on the same night, and we're like, that could be it, Let's call on our pup whenever we step into a casino. And for me, part of my ritual is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going down into our little pool hut and just doing my thing, doing my meditation, saying my prayers, doing my reading, and the hot tub happens to be right there, and that's awesome. And so I was getting in the water, I was being in the hot tub, and I heard something that I didn't normally hear above the drone of the jets and so forth. And there was this tiny little creature, this little bird is just fluttering away. He wasn't in distress yet. I think he was too little to know that he should be distressed. He was just, it was I think I can get out of here. I think I can ride one of these bubbles. And I have never had any experience with birds. And I just reached over and I scooped him up and I put him on the side of the hot tub. And, he didn't turn around and say thank you. He didn't turn around and say, Terry says hi. He just went waddling off. He couldn't fly quite yet because his wings were hot and tired, but he just went waddling off. And I get to trust, right? I get to hope that little guy, like our little guy, is going to be okay. So that is hope in spiritual action. The other thing, one of the many things that I love about this New Dawn community is hope awakens action. Hope is not idle wishing. It's a creative energy that stirs the soul into movement. When we affirm something good is unfolding, we align our thoughts, our words, and our hands with that unfolding. The Dalai Lama, who we spent last month talking about his beautiful work, the Dalai Lama says, optimism is a responsibility. Isn't that interesting? Optimism is a responsibility because our attitude shapes the collective field. Every prayer we speak or sing, every step we take toward healing becomes a candle of hope for someone else. You never know, my friends, and many of you have been on the planet for a minute, as have I. I should say, we never know when somebody is watching, yeah? Russell just spent a beautiful holiday with his extended family, and people of all generations. And so many, I know, Babs, you said you had a beautiful holiday with your large family as well. And us with our family of choice. Our wonderful friend Marge Mallory turned 93, and she came with her daughter to our favorite vacation spot this year. She came with her niece last year, but the niece wasn't invited back. As Margie said, honey, I love her, but she just slowed me down. You get out that walker, Margie. You go, darling. So when we align, right, the attitude shapes the collective field. When hope stirs, it doesn't let us remain idle. It pushes us to co-create with God, to take the next loving step, even when the destination isn't clear. Every inspired action becomes a declaration. I trust life. Hope moves through our hands as service, through our words as encouragement, and through our hearts as compassion. To live hopefully is to participate in God's unfolding. We stop waiting for miracles and begin becoming them. When our consciousness radiates expectancy, life rearranges itself to match our vibration and our vision, our vibration of optimism. Some of you will remember a certain presidential candidate around 20 years ago or so built his whole campaign around the thought of hope. Creating hope, offering hope, allowing each of us, if we chose, to read into that what that means for us. Is that through the lens of a better, stronger, more powerful government? Is that through the lens of a more perfect union? Is that through the lens of a more accepting community of diversity in all of its possible forms and what that looks like? So that is the power of hope, my friends, and that is the power of hope in action. I will tell you, that was when one of the Democratic National Convention and nominating convention was here in Denver. You might remember that. And there was a rally, a massive rally. They moved it from the Pepsi Center, which holds 17 or 18,000 people, to Mile High Stadium, which holds 76 to 78,000 people. And it was the first time I had ever seen, as part of a political campaign, where they had people texting their support to each other. Now, remember, this is almost 20 years ago. So that is offering people hope and meeting people where they are. The third message I would offer you is hope is a bridge to faith. So I frequently say, I don't tell you what to believe. I do encourage you to believe something, yeah? So we bless our friends who identify as atheist and agnostic. And I mean this sincerely. This is not a tongue-in-cheek or a derogatory comment in any way. I wonder who our agnostic and our atheist friends think when something goes right, yeah? Or when they get ticked off at somebody. It just is interesting to me. So what that looks like then is hope is the seed and faith is the flower. As we nurture hopeful thought through spiritual practice, it matures into knowing. In that sacred shift from maybe to I know, hope becomes faith in action. We realize that the presence we seek has been here all along, whispering through intuition and guiding through grace. Hope stands at the threshold of faith, reminding us that the divine is trustworthy. When we nurture hope through prayer, through meditation, through community, it matures into a deep knowing that we are supported by something larger than ourselves. This knowing transforms fear into confidence and worry into willingness. Faith is born where hope is practiced. It becomes the unshakable conviction that every circumstance is an opportunity for Spirit's goodness to emerge. As we cross that bridge, we realize that what we once merely hoped for is already alive within us. Hope becomes trust. As I was being with this, as I was thinking about hope, as I was meditating on Spirit working through me through this lens of hope, I was reminded of some dear friends who got married a bit later in life, and she was the cougar. She was a little bit older than he, and just a wonderful, loving, extraordinary couple who I'm so grateful is in my life. And they knew they wanted to become parents. And what do we know in New Thought? They didn't know the how, right? Physiologically, things weren't necessarily aligned as far as the medical community could tell. And these two beloveds knew that they wanted to become parents. So they just continued to hold it. They continued to be in that welcoming space. And long story short, it was the holiday season some 25, 28 years ago now, and somebody found a baby when they were shopping at King Soopers. You might remember the story. Somebody was just doing their holiday shopping. They looked on a shelf, and there was an infant. Somebody had left their baby in the store for somebody else to take care of it. And my friends stepped up, and they said, "We will take care of this beautiful being, part-time, full-time, whole-time, short-term, long-term. We will take it home right now." And they named their new daughter Hope, because she blessed them with their hope of becoming parents. And what I know to be true is they absolutely blessed her. And they became a family of choice, and they all chose each other for a reason. So that is hope. That is when hope becomes trust. That is the light of our first Sunday of Advent, is that of hope. So what does that look like for us here at New Dawn? 3 ways we practice hope is we honor every spark. Hope begins with a single idea aligned with truth. So you see so many events, you see so many events and activities that we're doing because we honor people where they are. If you want to join us on Saturday as your beautiful choir sings, never on Sunday, but thankfully you didn't take that vow personally. But we honor every spark. We want to meet people where they are. We want to honor the creativity and the imagination and what that looks like and feels like. And we light candles. We light candles for the world. Each Sunday you hear Russell praying for everyone on planet Earth and everyone in the universe. And my mind goes to, the little green people wherever they may be. Maybe they're people, maybe they're not. But I love that Russell includes everybody in the universe, you see. And it's not just him. It's our entire community. We light candles for the world. And we hold our planet in prayerful expectancy. And we speak words of possibility. Our conversations end in affirmation, not in despair. Not because we're wearing rose-colored glasses, but because we see the possibility, right? And when Russell and everybody is willing to pray with you and for you, and when Carol is willing to pray with you, take advantage of those opportunities, my friends, as I do, because it is in those moments when I'm perhaps off center, when I can't know it or do it or see it for myself, these beloveds have been trained in that prayer work to be able to see you, to see all of you, to see the full expression of you when you may not be able to know it or see it for yourself. So we do speak those words of possibility. So your invitation for the week, your homework, because everybody loves homework, each morning before turning on a light a candle. Maybe you can do that physically in your space. Maybe you can visualize it in your heart. And use the affirmation, today I live in hope. I see the good unfolding, and I trust the divine process. And I invite you to carry that light with you through every encounter this week as you continue to live the concept of Namaste, as you recognize the divinity in all, as you know that they are recognizing the divinity in you. So that is our conversation about hope, my friends. I hope it's the beginning of the conversation. I look forward to continuing it with you. If you would please join me in prayer. Practitioners, please stand and join me in consciousness. Infinite presence, radiant source of all good, we open our hearts to the power of hope. We release every fear and expectation, knowing that your creative energy is always at work. Let this candle burn in us as courage, as trust, as joyful expectancy. May our hope illuminate the path for those who walk beside us. We give thanks for the dawning of beginnings and the promise of eternal light. I release, I let go, I simply allow it to be. And we honor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are.
Remember to count your blessings. Remember to count your blessings. Realize that's where hope lives. And when you count your blessings, look around, you'll see all the love that you can give. When you know hope, possibility coming together, we all work it out together. When you know joy, peace and love, it means we're doing that forever. Have a little faith and say a prayer. When blessings come, you'll see them everywhere. Remember to count your blessings. You can find them where you are. And when you count your blessings, you realize you've gone farther than far. You realize you've been given more than you thought you'd find. I'll find it. Ooh, with an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful, grateful, bring it all together, have faith and love. Say a prayer, you'll feel blessings everywhere. Remember to count your blessings. You see them everywhere you are. When you count your blessings, look around, so much heart and soul to your heart. They give you hope, lift you up, and you know right where you are, trusting God, even though it feels afar. Remember to count your blessings. Don't give up, trust all you can. Realize when you count your blessings, you've been given more than you ever thought you